Today's video is something that I have never done before here on my channel, and I'm pretty excited to do this video with you guys. Hey Page Turners, Jeannie here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing that mid-year freakout tag. So I've been seeing this tag all over BookTube, so I thought it would be fun to try this out and see how it goes. I'm not sure if it works the same way like, you know, in the Bookstagram community where you kind of like get tagged by someone and then you decide if you want to do it, or if I have to tag anybody. I don't know, but listen, whoever wants to do it, you do it.
Do you, boo-boo? You know why? Because I'ma do me. Do you, boo-boo?
So first of all, let's talk about where the year went, right? Like 1 minute I'm recording that month's TBR and then next minute I have to record the wrap up. Like I literally feel like it just flies by. Like the months have been flying by and it's just so insane. But all in all, I've read some pretty awesome books so far for the first half of this year, and it just seems like it's as the months went by, each book was just better and better. And I'm pretty excited to see where the rest of the year is going to lead to and what awesome books I'm going to read from here to then. And as far as the tag goes, let's get this video started so you can find out which books I chose for each of these questions. So the first tag is the best book I read so far. So that's actually a pretty tough one considering that I read some pretty awesome books, especially as of lately. So as far as the best books I read so far this year, I have to go with The House in the Cerulean Sea. I mean, I could not put this as the best book I read so far this year because this book, it was just amazing. I fell in love with the characters. This just felt so heartwarming. It was cozy. I loved the writing style. I loved the world. I loved the children. I really loved the children. They took my heart, okay? Especially Lucy. I really fell in love with Lucy as a character. I really just want to adopt him. I also really enjoyed the adults in the story as well, which is Arthur Parnassus and Linus Baker. I loved how Linus Baker grew to understand the children more and understand what's going on, you know, in the world around them, and grow that bond and relationship with them, and also got to see why Mr. Parnassus is the way he is with the children. Listen, this book, it really has my heart. It was such an amazing read. Another book that I included in my best book so far is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I absolutely loved it. It just had me laughing so much. I couldn't stop laughing. I loved Eve as a character. I even loved Jacob as a character, even though he was controlling and kind of cold and standoffish at times. I kind of saw a little bit of myself in him. Just little things, okay? But even though Jacob is the way he is, I still enjoyed him as a character because he was very sarcastic, and I love sarcastic characters because they remind me of me. I love the way Talia Hibbert did the romance aspect of the opposites attract trope. It was just so well done, and I really enjoyed seeing how Eve grew and how Jacob also grew, and how they both basically needed each other to kind of make them see like what they were both missing in their lives. And this is definitely one that I had to include in my best book so far. Another one I had to include is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So guys, all right, listen to me. If you have not read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, please do yourself a favor and pick this one up because it is such a great book. Like, you don't even understand. I loved following and reading about the life of Evelyn Hugo, who it was like this glamorous icon who had like so many scandals. The way it was just written so well. Like you just following Evelyn's life, like if you're there with her through all these choices she made, through the journey to become this famous icon. Like all the scandals, the forbidden love in it, and like everything that she has done, like her ambition to get to that point in stardom was insane. But what I really, really loved is that she's just so unapologetic about it. The way that Taylor Jenkins Reid put it together, it was just so well done, and I would definitely recommend that you pick this one up. Like I said, pick it up, okay? So the next tag is best sequel I read in 2021. So as we all know, as bookworms, most of the time the sequels are not the greatest, right? So with that being said, I really don't have many sequels that I found to be great in 2021, but I did do a reread of A Court of Mist and Fury, so technically it still counts, right? In my book it still counts, okay? This one will forever be like the best sequel in my book because it's so well done. I love following Farah and Reese's journey and like what they had to deal with, you know, the PTSD and like the nightmares and just like all the emotions and the changes that they both went through as far as like the aftermath of what occurred in the first book. I really enjoyed seeing a lot of Reese in this one because you get to find out so much more and understand him more and see all like the sacrifices that he made while he was kept prisoner and how he was also traumatized, because you know most of the time we always see how the females are traumatized, but we don't really experience how the males are traumatized in stories. So it was very nice to see that here and to see Reese open up about what happened and why he did what he did. Another one that I found to be a great sequel is, the light is glaring off of it, but Rebel Spring. I guess I gotta do it like this. Wait. Rebel Spring by Morgan Rhodes. Listen, guys, okay, this is part of the Fallen Kingdoms series, and if you have not read this one, don't wait forever like I did to pick it up because this is an amazing series. You got to understand what was going on more, the magic aspect of it, the other world part of it. I don't really want to spill, you know, any tea about it. And I also got to understand the characters more and why they are the way they are and why they made choices that they made. There was a lot of action and adventure and like betrayals, backstabbing. So yeah, this was just an all in all great sequel for me. Tag number 3 is a new release that I haven't read yet but want to. So listen, there's so many that we just not gonna get into all of that because then the video will be super long. But one of the ones that I decided to go with is The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. This one was a very anticipated read of mine, and I just so happened to get it in my Unplugged book box, and I was super excited. I wanted to read it right away, but then that didn't happen yet. Okay, I'm gonna put yet because it's going to happen, because I do plan on reading this one because it sounds so good. Like, why wouldn't I? So just a little glimpse of what this is about. It's about Kreia, who is exiled and has like one key purpose, and that is that she wants to resurrect her husband. The thing is that in order for her to do that, she has to use human bones and a sacrifice. Then there's also the fact that she's also sacrificing herself, because for each day that her husband lives, she will live one less. But defying the laws of the land exposes things like maybe the dead don't rest in peace after all. So with that said, 5 warriors come together. Their story should have been finished, but it wasn't. But as we know, just because you die, or it's someone says it's the end of you, evil doesn't stop, and that's where this comes in. Another one of my anticipated reads for this year was The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. So yeah. So this one I was super excited about reading. I had it planned, I believe it was for May, April, May, one of those two, maybe both of those months, I don't know. As a mood reader, sometimes it just switches on you. Actually, maybe I could leave it for the fall, because I don't know, when it comes to like things like this, like apothecaries and like magic or dark academia or anything to that effect, I feel like it's just perfect for the fall. So just to give you a little info about this one. So this one takes place in 18th century London, and we are following Nella, who happens to make these well-disguised poisons that women purchase to kind of get rid of their husbands. But then 12-year-old Eliza comes in, and Nella's like, hey, you don't belong here, okay? This is not for you. This is not for children. But little does she know, they grow this bond that sparks a lot of consequences. That is talked about for years. So 200 years later, aspiring historian Caroline discovers one of the apothecary vials, and she also discovers that it is linked to all the murders that were happening back in 18th century London. Little does she know, she was kind of meddling in things that she probably shouldn't have, because she discovers that her fate is actually bound to Nella and Eliza somehow. This is one that I definitely plan to read. I think I just discovered myself that I might really want to push this one for the fall. So tag number 4 is most anticipated releases. Okay guys, so even though I said The Bone Maker and The Lost Apothecary was like my most anticipated reads, but I don't really anticipate books like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not a normal book nerd. I don't know. Come for me if you feel some way about this. But for the most part, I don't really do like big searches on books and then like go crazy for them and like put them in my, oh my god, I gotta read that, because I'm not the type of girl that like reads books right away for the most part. So it's more so like when I get a book or when it releases, if it excites me, then it just becomes an anticipated read. But as you saw from the last 2 books that I shared, I don't really read them right away. So if I really did have like an anticipated read, I guess I would go with Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahoran and Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. But yeah, if that was like my anticipated reads, it would be those 2. And with Gods and Monsters, I think I'm more excited about it, because right now in my Discord group we're reading the full series until that one releases. So yeah, I think it's more just that excitement. But hey, I'm still anticipating it, so I guess it counts. Tag number 5, biggest disappointment of the year. Okay guys, so the biggest disappointment of the year book is one I actually don't have or own anymore. It's actually one that I de-hauled right away because I just knew in my heart and soul that I wasn't going to ever pick this one up again. So I just dehauled it and donated it to a book truck. Hopefully it found a new home, which I'm sure it did, because the truck owner was talking about possibly reading it. It has to be The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Yes, guys. Yeah. This kind of feels like a little bit of an awkward moment, but yeah. So the reason Priory was a big disappointment to me is because, firstly, the book is like this massive. And I just felt like it was massive for no reason, quite honestly, because I was bored with the world. I was really expecting it to be more fantasy in it and more dragons in it, because, you know, it speaks about dragons and a dragon rider and how cool she is, but then don't really get dragons. I think I was like up to page 200 and there still was no dragon in sight. And then from there on, there was like sprinkles of the dragon, and it just kind of like, I was constantly dreading picking up the book because I was already bored of it. And the characters, I just couldn't connect with them. I really didn't care for any of them, quite honestly. I felt like the world was more political than fantasy based, in my opinion. There really wasn't any action. It just felt like super repetitive. And it's like you would get a little sprinkle of something and then it would just go flat after that. Trust me, guys, I really tried with that book. I believe it was 368 pages. So I really tried, okay? And it just wasn't cutting it. And I just had to put it down because I was finding myself getting into a reading slump. So yeah, I had to say no to The Priory of the Orange Tree. And I just had to dehaul it right away. But yeah, that was the most disappointing of 2021, because I was so excited for that book, but yeah, it just didn't do it for me. So tag number 6 is the biggest surprise that I read in a book. I had to go with Crystal Storm by Morgan Rhodes. The ending in this book was just like, oh my god, what is gonna happen next? I need to know now. And then the thing is, I don't even have the next book. I have to order it. So yeah. But in this one, there was so many like different things that were thrown at you. Like, guys, again, if you have not read the Fallen Kingdom series, because this is part of the Fallen Kingdom series, please pick this series up. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor, okay? And then we could talk about it and we can just like, because this book is just so full of adventure and betrayals and nonsense, okay? And then you just hate certain characters. And then you get annoyed too, but then you also grow to love characters that you didn't like in the beginning, and that's me in my case, that's moi. It's just, oh my gosh, it's listen, it's just a lot, okay? There was a few surprises in this one, and like I said, I can't wait to read the next one. Definitely the book that had the most surprises for me. Tag number 7 is favorite new author. So guys, I have 2 of them. And you know, even though for one of them I read only 1 book, but it has to be Taylor Jenkins Reid, okay? It has to be her, because oh my goodness, you know, the way she put this story together, it was perfect. It was good. It was painful. Her writing style, I just love it. And I'm definitely a fan of like stars, their stories, celebrity stories, or like bands and, you know, their journey to stardom, everything they went through. and how they got there. I love stories like that. I love movies like that. I love shows like that. I pretty much am looking forward to reading all of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books now. And remember, guys, any books that I'm recommending that you pick up and read, those will definitely be listed down below and easily accessible to you. So you could just click on those links and it'll direct you straight to Amazon, and you can put them in your cart, and there you go. You see, I make buying easy for you. So just check that description box below and add these books to your cart if you have not read them yet, okay? I know, I'm horrible. No, I'm not horrible, okay? I'm your friend. I am the best bookish friend you have because I am recommending these amazing books that I read that I think you should read. And I'm including links so it just makes it easy for you to purchase them and add them to your cart so they can go home to you and you can get reading. So I'm a great friend, if I must say so myself. Another one is Talia Hibbert. After reading the Brown Sister series, I absolutely love her writing style, the way she crafts her stories, the way she does these romance tropes so perfectly, and just the way she has me laughing throughout the book. Like, I don't laugh like that in stories, and Talia nails it. So I really look forward to reading some of her other books that I found that she has. And yeah, she just became one of my favorite authors. So I'm actually merging tag 8 and 9, which is newest fictional crush and new favorite character. And that has to go to Sebastian from Black Butler. So I don't have, the books on it, but I'll have it right here. My new crush has to be Sebastian from Black Butler because, oh my God, first of all, I am watching the manga with my daughter and I am just living for it, okay? Like, I absolutely love him. He's this butler that he does anything for his master, and even though it sounds kind of crazy, but all I can say is that he is simply one hell of a butler. And if you've seen this anime, you know why I'm saying that. The story behind this candle is that I was a rep for Otaku Sense, and I picked this candle because I felt it reminded me of an anime version of Kaz. Yes, true story. That's the reason I got this candle, was because of that. I didn't know who Sebastian was. I never watched Black Butler then. I absolutely love him as a character. He's just funny and he's just an amazing butler. It's just a funny anime. So if you watch anime, definitely check out Black Butler if you haven't. And if you have, let's talk about Sebastian below because I need to talk to somebody about this. Then, of course, another favorite character of mine is, if you haven't guessed it already, Evelyn Hugo. Because, listen, I look up to her. I know she's a fictional character, okay, guys, but I'd still look up to her because we all know that as readers, we just love fictional characters, right? And they become a part of us. So Evelyn Hugo is definitely a character that I can look up to because being Cuban and a woman back in the 1950s trying to reach stardom, she had to do what she had to do because during those times it wasn't easy. Her as a character, I felt like she was just so strong, so intriguing, so ambitious. But yet her story was also so heartbreaking as well. She just became one of my all-time favorite characters because I love how She's not ashamed of who she is, and she speaks her truth. She speaks her life. You know, she has like that whole attitude and that mentality, like, listen, I did what I did and that's it. Like, I'm not ashamed of what I did. I had my reason, and you could either like me, love me, hate me, but it's whatever. This is who I am, and if you don't like it, well, there's the door. You can be on your way. And that's something that I really, really love about Evelyn Hugo. Another favorite character has to be Amari from Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Austin. So the reason I fell in love with Amari is because she was just so ambitious and so like driven to find her brother. And once she entered this world where she really wasn't accepted, she was kind of bullied and, you know, being told that she wasn't enough or that she was weird. Regardless of everything that they were telling her in this world, she still persevered and she still pushed through. Even though like she would feel down about it, she still got back up and was like, listen, this is me and that's it. I really love that for her. It was like if she was dealing with the same thing in both worlds. And also being this black little girl who lives in, you know, like the ghetto in the tough community where she has to see her friends, you know, doing things or making choices that they shouldn't be possibly making. And she's dealing with these struggles in both worlds. I just loved how strong she was for a little girl and how she just kept on going and following her instincts. And that is why Amari has to be one of my favorites. Tag number 10. Book that made me cry. The book that really made me cry is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book actually made me cry. Not, you know, oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Oh, maybe my eyes got a little watery type cry. No, this book made me cry. Like, ugly face cry and everything. Listen, this story is just it's so heartbreaking. And it really hits you. It's just exceptionally painful and it made me cry. What can I say? I can't really say why, what happened. You know what? It was worth it because this was amazing. And that's, you know, if I haven't said it enough already in this video, I'm gonna say it again. Pick this up, okay? Because it's amazing. Tag number E. I don't have 11 fingers, so we're just gonna go with tag number 11. A book that made me happy. You know, guys, listen, I should have just named this video, I should have just named it, you know, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and The House of the Cerulean Sea, because those are the main two that I spoke so much about in this video. And yeah, the book that made me happy is The House in the Cerulean Sea, because guys, this book just, I love it, okay? It made me laugh, it made me happy, it made me upset at times, but all in all, I really loved it. And I know that this book will stick with me forever, and I just feel like I want to reread it like right away. That's how much I love this book, and that's how happy I feel even just seeing it, even just talking about it. Okay, so the most beautiful book I bought or received, Amari and the Night Brothers, definitely has to be one, because look at this cover, guys. Look at it. It's so beautiful. What? Yes. And then, you know, like when you look at the naked back, it just has all those beautiful stars, like magical stars, and I love it. Another one is Kingdom of the Wicked, but the Barnes & Noble special edition one. Look at how pretty. Oh, I absolutely love the gold and the purple and the foiling and the map, because look, it's purple, and I think in the regular one it's just black and gray. The minute I saw this cover, I was like, I want that one. I don't care. It's just beautiful, okay? And then another one I just had to get is How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. And this is the Fairy Loot exclusive, and oh, look at it. Oh my goodness, that foiling against the purple and the gold and the silver. Oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. Then when you open the inside, it's gold and it has all of that illustration in it. And then that's not all, folks, okay? Because then we got the naked back, and look at it. It's so beautiful. Oh wait, and I forgot one more detail of it. The gold, the beautiful gold sprayed edges. And oh my goodness, isn't it beautiful? And it's purple, my favorite color. I mean, I had to get it. And you know what's crazy about this is that, well, I don't really read the short story of things, and I don't really own many short stories of things. And I read the Folk of the Air series, and I wasn't that pleased with it. Actually, that should have been another one that was part of my disappointed reads for this year. It should have been the Queen of Nothing as well, because I was so disappointed. I spoke about that in my video. I'll link it over here so you can see and hear all my thoughts about that one. But even though I wasn't that crazy about that series, I got this book, but I got it before I read it. But it's still a pretty book, so I guess it counts. And another one that I had to get is the Fairy Loot exclusive of Shadow and Bone. And guys, I am sorry, but my ring light is not really doing it justice. But oh, look at how beautiful this book is. Oh my goodness. Then the inside looks like this. The map is so much more detailed and pretty, or prettier, because I'm like, yeah, I don't think the map looks like this in the regular one. The back looks like that, and then the sprayed edges of the antlers. So yeah, I had to get this one because I love the trilogy. I mean, I have some thoughts on that one too, as yeah. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video, but yeah, this beautiful book. Okay, so the last tag is, what books do I still have to read this year? All right, guys, so it's too many to name right now, but I do have the 21 books I want to read this year video. It looks like this, and you can click here to watch the video after you're done with this one. I have a lot of my books listed there, and you know, then there's this one, and that one, this one, and that one, and this one, and that one, and this one, and that one, and this one, and all these books that I still have to read. There's no way, okay guys, there's really just no way that I can list all of them, because I'll be here with a whole scroll of books that I still have to read this year, because I really do have a lot that I want to read. So yeah, that's basically all the books I still have left to read in a nutshell. Let me know what you thought. Are any of these books on your TBR still? Do you think you're gonna get to them? Have you read any of them? Let me know all this down below. I love to hear all about it and talk and chat with you about it. All my socials are linked down below as well, so follow your girl. Let's get social. Let's talk. Join my Discord group. Do all that fun stuff. Go do that. Go check out that description box. So yeah, I love you guys so much. Thanks again for watching. Until next time. Bye.